Peace be with you. So this video is aimed at Muslim men, and I'm going to talk about the story of Joseph, or Yusuf, peace be upon him, who was a prophet of God, and how he responded to being invited to zina and fawahisha, to sexual immorality and fornication. And this is a lesson to us on how we're supposed to act when we are faced with these kinds of circumstances. So who was Joseph, or Yusuf? Well, he was a son of Israel. He was the son of Jacob, or Yaqub in Arabic, and he was betrayed by his brothers, and he ended up a slave in Egypt. As a matter of fact, he is the reason that the children of Israel ended up in Egypt. So as he is in slavery in Egypt, the wife of his owner, finds him very handsome, and now she wants him to have sex with her, and she pressures him and threatens him, and at one point, she even threatens him with prison. And that is what I found remarkable was his answer. In the 12th chapter of the Quran, and this whole story is in the 12th chapter of the Quran right there at the beginning. But at the verse 33, he answers, once he is, pressured long enough, he says, "My Lord, the prison house is dearer to me than that to which they invite me. And if you do not turn away their devices from me, I will yearn towards them and thus become of the ignorant." So this is how seriously a prophet of God, peace be upon him, understood fawahisha and zina, right? Sexual immorality and fornication and adultery. And this is how we should understand it. He understood, he isn't like out there on an island. He's a human being, right? So that's why he says, if you don't help me soon, I will yearn towards them. He is a victim, or he is susceptible to temptation just as we are. So he prays to God and says, "Please help me soon, because if I don't get help soon, I will yearn towards them and I will fail." And God does help him, and he does end up in prison. But that is the lesson. He didn't succumb to zina. He did not succumb to fawahisha. He would rather go to jail than undertake something that is so strongly condemned by God. And this story isn't in the Quran to entertain us. This story is there to set an example for us, because the Quran says that in this book there are examples for us to understand and to learn. And we as men, all of us, are going to face temptation at one point of our life. You got people who call themselves Muslims. They're not even the pursued. They are the pursuers. So this might as well be a lesson for women as well, for Muslim women. Basically, if we violate God's precepts, and this one being of zina and fawahisha, it's better to go to jail. It's better to go to jail. So when we have somebody inviting us to do this, we should understand that a prophet of God would rather go to jail than be a part of that. That is his example. And that is how important this is. And this is just an example. God tells us in the Quran directly not to do this. In the 24th chapter, verse 3, we're told, "The fornicator will not marry any but a idolatress or a fornicatress. And as for the fornicatress, none shall marry her but a fornicator or an idolater. And this is haram, forbidden for the believers." So he understood that. Joseph understood that. And he would rather go to jail than commit something forbidden like that, haram like that. So people who seek like this, who seek to behave like this, are forbidden or haram for the Muslims. And if you are a Muslim, you should understand that. Their behavior is unacceptable to the extent that Prophet Joseph, peace be upon him, would rather go to prison. So it should not be surprising, that a prophet of God would understand the seriousness of this situation. So his example is how we should see it. That's how serious this is. If we are not careful, if we are ourselves are evil, if we are those people who want to commit fawahisha and who want to commit zina, then we are going to surround ourselves with such people, and one day, we're going to get lost in this world, and we're going to be surrounded by evil people, and when we die, when we wake up in the hereafter, we're going to regret all of this. God tells us in the Quran, in the 24th chapter, verse 26, "Impure women are for impure men, and impure men are for impure women, and women of purity are for pure men, and men of purity are for women of purity. These are not affected what people say, and these will have forgiveness and an honorable reward." The women who tried to seduce Joseph were not his friends. They did not have good intentions for him. Women who try to seduce Muslim men are not their friends. And the same goes the other way. Men who try to seduce Muslim women into zina and fawahisha, they're not your friends. I don't care how much you like them. They are your enemy. They are the shaitan. And you should see them with the same hate that you see somebody that's trying to destroy your soul, because that's what they're trying to do. So understand the lessons of God and try to learn them and incorporate them into your character and into your life, because this is the purpose of all of this. This is the purpose of being a Muslim, and this is a purpose of the Quran. We are supposed to develop ourselves into people like Joseph, peace be upon him. Peace be with you.